All right, so a lot of the guides that I make are usually pretty long, like 20 minutes, and some people say they're too long, and they just want the nitty-gritty, dirty details. So I'm gonna try to make the fastest possible Windwalker Monk 7.25 guide that I can. And if you guys have more questions, you'll just have to come to my stream and ask. But this should cover the basics. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. So for races, you want to play Blood Elf or Orc. If you're Alliance, you would like to play Human, just depending on your preference. Blood Elf is a silence. Orc is stun reduction as well as a little bit more burst damage. And then Human, of course, is really good for the second stun break as Alliance. Talents. All three level 15 options are viable. Just depends on what you like. Yeah, Chi Burst a little bit more burst. The Tiger, good consistent passive. And Chi Wave is going to be something you can rotate with your Blackout kicks. 30 talents, Tigers lost 45 talents, Energizing Elixir, 60 talents, Leg Sweep. 75 talents, I usually only play Healing Elixir. 90 talents, all three options are viable. Most monks play hit combo, Rushing Jade Wind. I personally only play hit combo. Sometimes I'll play Rushing Jade Wind if I'm fighting like a TSG. So if I'm fighting against a Warrior Death Knight where I'm going to be on the DPS a lot and I have constant uptime with the Rushing Jade Wind, then it's pretty good. The way you use Rushing Jade Wind is basically as a filler instead of Blackout Kick. You put up Rushing Jade Wind. Level 100 talents, I've only been playing Serenity as well as most monks. Just try to get those big burst opportunities with Serenity. For Honor talents, most monks play Gladiator's Medallion. Relentless is something you could try out if you want, if you're getting CC'd a lot and you feel like you don't need the stun break. Next row, Reinforced Armor is what most of the time I play. If I'm getting trained down to double melee a lot, then Sparring is also a good option. Next row, Eminence. The shorter cooldown on port is my personal favorite and what most monks use. Fortifying Brew, good defensive cooldown. You can use Zen Moment, but most monks don't use it because monks are so good defensively right now that you don't actually need Zen Moment, really. But if you're dying over and over and over and over, maybe it's something you want to try out. Disabling Reach, I always play. Heavy-Handed Strikes is good. In addition to 725, or in addition in 725, we got Tiger Brew. Tiger Brew is something I normally only use in 2s, and 3s I could see it being good if you're playing a comp like Windwalker Demon Hunter, Windwalker Subtlety Rogue, Windwalker. You could actually have one monk play Tiger Brew, that way you don't need the additional stuns, but in most cases if you're playing with a mage or a boomkin, Tiger Brew is necessary. The only other exception is in 2s. I like to play Tiger Brew when I'm fighting Shaman because they're so popular. It's good to just get out that additional damage. Stuns don't really matter that much, as well as in RBGs. It can be really good for killing flag carriers because you straight negate all of their armor. After that, Burst. A lot of people asking me about the Burst. There's a new macro that I want to show you guys that I recently found out. It's Touch of Death macro, and it makes it so you just can press Touch of Death on your in cap and it won't start auto attack and won't break it. So slash use at target exists, Touch of Death. You can copy that if you want. So basically all you're going to do is in cap, Touch of Death, and you can wait for a little bit. Leg Sweep, use your Serenity, Rising Sun Kick, Strike of the Windlord, Fist of Fury, and Rising Sun Kick again, and then of course you can weave in your Blood Elf Silence if you want, but that's essentially what your one-shots are going to be, and you want to time it so, like I said, if possible, in-cap Touch of Death, wait a few seconds, and that way guarantee your Touch of Death will be going off during your stuns and not afterwards, so you can just 100 to 0 and your Leg Sweep, Fist of Fury, Blood Elf Silence if you are Blood Elf. Other macros that I use Focus Kick, Focus in-cap, Detox my teammates, Tigers lost my teammates, and then that Touch of Death macro, as well as for my Serenity macro. If I was Orc, I would macro in my Blood Fury for that. That's about all the macros that I use for Windwalker Monk. For comps, a lot of people ask me about that. I think the best Windwalker comps are probably Windwalker DK. You can play that with a Paladin or a Mistweaver. Windwalker Boomkin, which you can play with a Resto Shami. Windwalker Mage, which works I think with a Paladin primarily, but you can also play with a Druid. And then you can play Windwalker Demon Hunter as well, that you can play with a Shaman. Some other comps I've heard of are like Windwalker Subtlety Rogue, and you can play Tiger Brew in that. And yep, that's about it. Thanks for watching the guide. If you have any questions, feel free to post in my stream or on the video. Goodbye. Done.